Hi everyone, welcome to today's self-care practice. Our practice today is mindful eating, and I chose this one because, well, we eat every day and often we eat mindlessly. I know I'm definitely guilty of it, taking really big portions and just sort of shoveling the food in my mouth when I'm starving. So this is a practice to get you tuned into, what is it like to do mindful eating? And we're gonna start real small. So I always recommend gathering some food that you love, something that it has burst to it, either like chocolate, blueberries, a grape, a raisin. I've got my blueberries and my homemade lavender essence through essential oils, coconut, cacao, homemade chocolate. How's that for health food? Anyway, find a couple things that you like, and if you need to pause the video to go and create a little plate of goodness, go ahead and do that. And when you come back, we will mindfully eat. So let me give you a little bit of setup here. As we do this, we're really going to experiment with this idea of eating differently, eating mindfully, really paying attention to every movement, not just the flavor of the food and the food in our mouth, but actually the whole act of choosing the food and putting it into our mouth and experiencing it. So I'm just going to guide you through this. I'm not going to eat while I do it so that I can have a clear voice. But when we're complete, then I'll go ahead and do my mindful eating. So just start by grounding your feet onto the earth. So uncrossing your legs if they're crossed, pushing your feet onto the floor, sensing the bottom of your feet touching the earth. You can even begin to wiggle your toes a little bit just to anchor in each toe into the earth. And then get connected with the top of your head. Just sense the space above you, behind you, in front of you, and to the sides. Become aware of your breath. Oh, I'm tired today. And what I'd like you to do is just take a minute to just look at your plate. Notice what's there. Notice the shapes and the colors and the choices that are available to you. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and choose one of these objects to eat today. And notice why you're choosing what you're choosing. And just hold it in your hand for a minute. And I want you to entertain the notion that you're seeing and sensing this object for the very first time. So really take a moment to check it out. Feel any texture that's there. Notice the shape. You might want to smell it. See if there's an aroma there. Notice how it reflects the light. And then just investigate very closely how it feels. Even the temperature that you're sensing as you touch it, its density. And then as you hold this piece of food in your hand, I want you to begin to tune into where this food comes from. Was it farmed on a land? Is it made in a factory? Can you begin to imagine the sun and the rain that nourished its growth? And even begin to imagine the farmers that harvested this food for you, and the truckers that brought it to market, or maybe your local farm brought it, so the people that delivered the food. And just notice it, see what's there for you. And then get it close again to your nose. Notice if you're salivating as it gets closer to your mouth and you're preparing to actually eat the food. I'm wondering, how do you feel about putting this food into your body right now? Check in with that. How does your body feel anticipating eating this piece of food? Notice if you become aware of any memories that are triggered by the food that you've chosen. So now we're going to receive the food. We're going to receive it into our body. So be aware of your arm moving toward your mouth and of putting the food in your mouth. Go ahead and put it in your mouth. Begin very slowly to experience the food in your mouth. Perhaps you just roll it around with your tongue in your mouth for a little bit until you're just getting ready to maybe bite into it or chew a little bit. And as you chew, I want you to chew really slowly and focus your full attention on the food's taste and texture. Chewing slowly, savor every bit of that food. Be aware of any desire that you have to rush through this. And as you get ready to swallow, be aware of the intention to swallow that's present before you actually swallow. And swallow when you're ready, and notice how far down into your body that you can track and still feel that grape or that blueberry or that raisin or that piece of chocolate. And just really sense that. So that's the simplicity of mindful eating. It's not just chewing slowly and eating slowly. It's about creating the space, being aware of your emotions, your connections, your senses, and then the actual act of eating and the awareness of your mouth moving and the flavors and the texture. So I encourage you to, if you didn't do it just now with the video, to try this at home. And to even, it's a great one to extend with family, to possibly have a mindful meal together where you have one course of your meal as a family in mindfulness, or perhaps you eat a whole meal with mindful eating. Let yourself be creative, try different ways, see what works, and enjoy. I'm going to get into my blueberries.